Okay, and we're now live. It's Lucy, Nico, and Sam. This is Sego Bagua with the wrong account. Poddy. Hopefully, hopefully you guys will be able to watch the recording later on. Okay, so 14th, no, it's 18th of April. Martin Fowler Scrum, 2 o'clock our time, 11 o'clock Sam's time. What's your time, Nico?
1 p.m.
And
1
12
p.m.
o'clock. 12 o'clock for me.
Oh, it's 12 o'clock for you. Okay, so 12
Because
o'clock.
we've moved forward now as well. So
yeah,
wow,
very confusing.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we can start giving our report. Lucy was in first, so Lucy.
Hi everyone.
Hi.
As I said in the previous scrums, we have been working on a client job, and today we were finalizing it. And I was working on map section. I had not been able to add the map location, the Google map. But I did some research and I was able to style the maps. So I was able to add more. Previously, I had added a map, but I hadn't captured point of interest. Like the direction wasn't very precise. So I was able to go through the style guide for Google Map, and I was able to add all the points of interest. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and I've also written a blog on list comprehension.
Ooh.
Yeah, I can share the link with you guys for
Please do.
what we've got reviews. Yeah.
Okay. Please mute. Thank you. Let me just mute you. It is going. Just a minute. Okay. Thank you, Lucy. You're not yet. I can hear myself talk. Okay. Sorry for that, guys. So am I sharing my screen? So this is the pull request Lucy is talking about, or was it Martin? It's right here. This is our website that we're currently working on. So if you look at this, the map on the website. So she managed to add this information. So
Okay.
the previous map did not have this. We're using some JavaScript using the Google API to get this map into this location. So there are some few settings that has to be tweaked for this information to be there. So the next thing she's supposed to do is to remove the markers for these different places, and we should only have the marker for where we are as a group. So these other markers will be removed on the next pull request. Yep. So I hope that makes it clearer. So how many windows do I have open? Oh my God.
A lot.
Not enough. It's just too few. More, please.
Okay. Yeah. Stop sharing. Now, next was Sam. Yes, Sam, you're next. You can give us.
Hi. Yeah. So yeah, just had the web dev mob doing CSS stuff. That's all under control. Other things that happened this morning are just minor admin things. My main block is that the order graders are still not working. No response from edX for 2 days. I mean, they did acknowledge the issue last week, so that's kind of I'm trying to set up Armando with SSH access to the auto graders so that he can get some data, and I'm going to kind of ping him, and hopefully he can rattle edX's cage. Yeah, lots of other little bits and pieces, things to do. We in principle we'll be having the marketing meeting coming up, but I think Federico is ill. I'm not sure. We've got a new marketing intern, but maybe we need to find a new date to do that. Other things coming up today, pairing with Brent, we'll be looking at the new charity commission stuff, and we've got the NHS meeting. Yeah, lots of updates there from my big meeting with the NHS last Thursday. Hoping to see Nico there if he's not got interview. And yeah, that's about the size of it for me. Yep, that's my report.
Thank you. I'm assuming no blockers for you.
Well, I mean, the autograder is the blocker. And I mean, if anybody's interested, I mean, that's quite a tricky multi-service debugging thing. If people want to dive in and see that, but yeah, happy to tell people more about that. If we have time at the end of the Scrum, I'll show you more about what goes on.
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. And Lucy has posted the link to the draft blog that she has, so that you guys can do it.
I took a look. I'm following you, Lucy.
Yeah. So, Nico, your report?
Yeah. I ran the rake task for loading the content from GitHub to our website on the staging server. So that is working. I did a couple changes to the About Us page, and after that I ran the command. So that is working. I don't know. I would like to know if I have to check all pages or just by checking the About Us, it was okay. I don't know. For me, it's the same, let's say, because if one of them is bringing the changes, the others are going to work. But I don't know. It's something that I wanted to talk with you guys. And the other thing, I'm on C9 and I'm checking the lockdown that Fate did to Node, I think, or the package.json. So I was installing. I don't know. It was taking like a lot of time. What it was? Sorry.
On C9.
On C9. Yeah. It was WebKit something. But that was installing. Yeah. So that is taking a little time, but I think that I will check it today, so we can merge that in. And I have no blockers.
Okay. So can we pair on that? Do you have time after this, Nico? After the Scrum, we can pair and look at Fate's pull request.
Yeah, but the thing is that I'm still installing things. So
okay.
Yeah.
All right. So sorry, I will try it. I'll try this on C9 maybe on my C9 account and share it with you, whatever Fate has.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right. So I can go ahead and give my report. So busy day yesterday, a bit relaxed for today. And Sam, I saw your message. I'll be having a look at that immediately after this. I'll go through the document and the client job, it's almost done, and no client job is always done. So a few revisions, just a few more revisions to go. And I'm pretty sure it will never be the few that the client is talking about, but we're okay with that. Yeah, he paid us for that. So my contribution today, I'll be checking on the PR by Faith and possibly start writing tests for the calendar or make the default view to be weak. I'll choose between the two for the calendar that we have on website one. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yesterday I missed our pair session with Sam, so we should reschedule that.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Then Getty is absent with apologies, but her overall report is that she is actually preparing for the Python meetup, Ruby meetup. We have a Ruby meetup from 4 o'clock our time. That's in the next 2 hours, 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock. She'll be taking us through the Ruby method missing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's what she'll be discussing. It will be streamed. Nowadays we stream our events using this account. We stream our meetups and mob sessions using this account.
Cool.
Yeah. So that's it. That's all from me. So end of Scrum. 3 minutes below time. So Sam, you can show us the auto graders.
Right. Yes, indeed.
Sorry.
On.
Anyone who feels like they have to run away, it's okay. Yeah.
Totally. I was going to mention actually. So you mentioned the other. We had the paid project for the Anthony Powell Society, where, yeah, and as you say, there's always a little bit more to do. I've done the last like 3 or 4 changes for them, and we are maybe close to signing up on the database side of that. There is some complexity about, and Lara's working on the website, and that seems to be going okay. There's this new thing in Europe called the GDPR thing, which is all about people having to explicitly consent to receive emails, which is affecting. We've got Praveen working on website 1 on that. Yeah, we had the website 1 meeting yesterday. There seems to be some kind of complexity there. Like they have like a PayPal shop for this Anthony Powell Society, and there's some like different kind of consent statements, and I don't know, gosh, seems to be much more complicated than it needs to be. Anyway, that's another kind of like a weird, not so much a blocker, but like a kind of like a let me just take a layer off here as I heat up. But yeah, so the situation with the graders is somewhat complex. Let's sort of check what's going on with them. I imagine that some of you have used the graders at some points in the past. I'm just looking for the current course. So we have a variety of assignments in the course. I'll just take. Oh, is that the? That's the button. Let's go to a simpler. Let's go to the part 1 of the course and look for. So, you know, they have the assignments. Where's the assignment? First one, Ruby intro. There we go. And so students, you know, read the assignment specification. They then do some work on C9 or their local machine or what have you. You can. This is basically the problem, that anything submitted seems to be just going into this sort of spinning state here. I can try again. We've got like homework 1. I've got a solution for that. We submit that.
Sam, you're not sharing your screen.
Oh, I'm not sharing screen. Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Silly.
And Nico is watching. Nico, what are you watching?
It's just fat. Well, Nico's muted, so it looks like we're all. We can't hear Nico's great witticisms.
Yeah,
sorry, I was just.
I thought it was okay. It's going like that. I'm paying attention. So.
Yeah. Sorry. So yeah, what I meant to be sharing was this. I just navigated into the course, into the thing here where the Ruby. Basically, it's stuck like this with this sort of little spinning thing. What I just did there. Again, was kind of try to resubmit, but basically for 4 or 5 days now, it's been stuck like this. And so what's happening behind the scenes is, so interestingly, edX is entirely Python Django app, and it is also. I mean, there is, you know, there's Open edX. I mean, that's relating to the discussion about. You know, wanting to find a Python app to work on, there is like a complete, if we look at it on GitHub, you know, it's a big open source app that, you know, is there to be worked on if people are looking for a project which is going to go for a good cause. But the process whereby, you know, open source submissions come in through this and then end up on the official edX.org thing is very opaque to me. I don't know how that works. But anyway, the whole Django framework for edX, it includes you know, the whole learning management system front end, but then it's also got like these queues. And so you see here, the X queue defines an interface for the LMS to communicate with external grader services. So when somebody submits a student submits a file, you know, solution, basically there's a edX endpoint called a queue, which is I think another Django server that basically sort of sits there, and we're doing it on a pull basis. So the autograders, which we currently run in Azure, they will try and wake up and grab the student submission from those queues. And so if I go into not there, but over here, so I've just logged in. I'm on the production autograder here. And what we do on there, I've SSH'd into it. We run, this is the autograder running in a tmux shell, so that basically we kind of got it there and we've got access to it. And we run it in this kind of little loop here. So in case it falls down, it gets pushed back up again, and so on. In the past, when we've had problems, often what we do is we like Control-C and restart the grader, like so. We've also, I guess, in order to see sort of more about what's going on, I mean, I recently cleared up the automated output from the grader, and we can see here that if I go into RAG, we can then see like there's a huge number of logs, and managing the logs is a big thing for us. But if we do ls-lat logs head, then we can see the latest log, and we can actually see here that, I mean, I just restarted it. Oh, I hate that. It goes off the other one, so come back. Here we go. Let's maximize that. Here we go. So we can kind of trail the log. Let's trail the previous one. And you can see I restarted it a few times in trying to get it all working, but I can do tail -100 LF there for that. Oh, and it's in the log directory logs. There we go. So now the interesting thing here is, and you can see these dates, that's like on the 16th, is it seems to be able to talk to the XQ. So you've got example, successfully started an XQ submission adapter, and then this is like grader payload that's coming in from the XQ. So this is like a particular assignment, like assignment 3, which is the cucumber assignment that some of you might have done, and due dates and stuff. So the fact that this information is coming across implies that our external grader running on Azure can talk to the XQ, which is like in the past we've had situations where edX rolled out some stuff and suddenly they couldn't talk anymore. There's definitely some communication taking place. The one comment that edX came back with is, oh, we're not going to support TLS 1.0, it's going to be TLS 1.1. But the fact that it makes a connection there, it's using the mechanized gem under the hood to do that, makes it seem like, okay, so communication is taking place, but then for some reason, once the grader grades it, it can't put the thing back on the queue, which is very strange. And that's kind of so on Monday, I kind of dug in here ultimately with, I mean, I was running that, like, we have like a separate XQ Ruby gem that was sort of extracted from the grader by a group of Berkeley TAs that, I was sort of running this from the command line and able to have it connect to the grader from the production box. So that all seems to be fine. And the point that I've got to in kind of debugging it, like, so here that's running there. If I have one more, I've got that's not going to be the current log. So let's just make sure that we're hitting, this is the current log, not got anything in it at the moment. So I need to do tail -100 LF logs, that thing. So there's there, if I SSH into the grader over here, production, and so this one, and we get into RAG, what I did previously was do the equivalent of bundle open XQ Ruby. Is that right? Is it the hyphen? No, that doesn't quite. Well, right. And if I could do export, this is like for me to work out where the thing, where the gem is. So like it can't open that directory, but it tells me that this is the location of the gem that we've pulled out. So this is like a little trick here, where now that I know that, I can use Nano to open here. I can like actually reach into the gem that the autograder is using. And so into here, I can find XQ Ruby. Like this is the place. I just need that one. There we go. So this is the gem that the autograder is using. It's been installed into this location here in like Ruby 2.2.2 bundle of gems XQ what have you. And if we look down in here, we can see, so like it's like this is the, it connects to the xq.edx.org and you know, gets all set up and authenticated, and it could do things like, you know, checking the queue length. That's how many student submissions are there waiting to be graded. You can list the queues, to get the submission of the grader. And this is the thing that basically seems to be failing, is trying to put a result back onto the queue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save that there. I think we'll see if the running grader hooks on it or not. But so interestingly, there it's done that. Have we got some more? Still no output from there. I may need to restart it. We'll see. But so we can, if I go back to here, I can potentially try and push another item across this, which is ORB, and then submit that. Maybe nothing will happen in the background here. We'll see. I might need to restart it. I think I probably will. Let's shut that down. Restart it. Now, there you go. Look. So then we see what happened there. It's now reloaded the code that I edited here in the gem, and it's actually it's sort of dropped here on the queue length thing, on the bybug. So, you know, it's grabbing the queue length there. I don't know if there's any interesting information I can get out of the queue length there. I can probably step through it. Queue length, there we go. So it's going to require, or it's going to do the authentication. We can maybe get to the response and see what the response was. So we're here on the production. And normally I wouldn't dare put debug statements in the production grader, but the whole thing's just not working at all at the moment. So I might as well be as close to the metal as possible in order to try and work out what's really going wrong, because you know, every other sort of test that I've done everywhere else seems like it's okay. So I can step over that authentication thing. Authentication seems to have happened fine. I can step over, this is the request to get the queue length. Now, this is the thing I've been having when I'm trying to explore this, is that I do this next statement and it doesn't return for me. What I would like to do is to step over that and then actually inspect the response to see what came back. But I guess partly because this is... Go on.
What if you step into that and you go to the...
I could step into it, yes. It's I mean, request is another method. See, interestingly there now, I mean, what I'll also do is there's so you can see request down here. I mean, this is doing ultimately this has to be an async call, but with Ruby it should hang and wait for us. So anyway, I might just restart that again. Okay, so we're in here. So now it's come through on the request operation, and I can see here. So this is what's this? This is the initial login step. So I'll probably just continue from that. So now here we are on queue length again. So I can do next, and then maybe I'll do step in as Nico has suggested on that. We're now in here. I can sort of step over there. So we're now coming into the method here is get, and the path is we want to get the queue length. And so then I can get to here. And so this session now, this is part of the mechanize thing. Usually I should be, I mean, let's try. Interesting, having done next there, rather than stopping on the next line, it's come all the way back round, I think, to another request. And so here, we're on method, this is now get, and the path. Right, so it seems to have successfully got the length, I think, even though it's not sort of stopping. I guess the key thing that we would need there is we want to, more so than that bybug there, I think we want to stop it just after it's got the response. I mean, and unless it's sort of erroring out there in a way that we, well, let's do, let's do that there in anticipation of what might come next. But so we're here. I mean, I guess we've gone in. This is like the getting the submission step. right? So we're there. If I step into the session sending, I mean, it's kind of doing this merge operation. Can I have I want to go up, I think. Oh no, oh, it's up. Okay, and step in again. So now we're like they're actually in the method get inside mechanize. Getting down to there. Going through, working out so this is all like mechanize internal things. Fetch the page. There. At that point here again, like at the point at which it's fetching the URI, I guess does that imply that there's an exception being raised there? That's, I don't know if there's a way with bybug to ensure. So we've got bybug raise, like we want halt on exception. If the block of code raises an uncalled exception, just looking at the I'm looking at a little guide to. Okay, so there's like an M flag. This is for bybug. That's from the command line. Huh, interesting. Definitely starts to feel like we're kind of missing an error message there. Usually when I've done step over some kind of error, it's like, it's ended up, you know, being in the kind of error environment. So if I rerun it there, can I set? So that's interesting here. Like we've actually, so putting the bybug there, we've managed to at least complete one response. So we can look at what was this is probably the login. So that's a method path. That's the login. Let's look at the response. Okay, so there was a response and it didn't throw an error. So continue. I guess also what I want to do is help. Is there a way we can set this so that it catches kind of errors? It doesn't seem to be. Modifies bybug settings. Help set. Oh, there we go. Set post-mortem. They take the values on or off, true or false. Yeah, okay, set post-mortem on. Okay. So, and the situation that we were, now I can't do the scroll. Let's do step. Okay, and now up. Okay, so we're here on the queue length now. And so let us go to the response. Try and step over that. Okay, so this time now with the block there, so we could now, this should be the response from the queue length. Okay, but so can we get this response body? Oh, there we go. Okay, so here we go. Like it certainly seems like you would agree it's getting data from the queue. It's saying like, okay, there's 74 items on the queue. Great. So then I guess we continue there. So now this is stopping again. Let's have a look which one we're on. Method, it's on method get. This is now trying to get a submission off the queue. We've got the response there. Let's have a look at the response body. So this is then, right, one assignment has been, we've successfully retrieved an assignment, right? This is the stuff that gets off there. We can then say next here. Is there, oh, that's interesting. We're in gets that. See, I thought we were just going to like parse the response body into response JSON, and it's jumped into the get submission. I guess this has completed that. This is the, and then we've got the JSON response. So the JSON response there, it's just the same thing again. Right, so now we're going on through the get submission. It says the return code was 0. There we go. So now it's like going to retrieve the file. So it's going to download the student's file from where it's been stored on S3. And then, okay, we've got it's created like a submission thing. So it's got its own internal, what have you. Next submission with assignments. It's going on. Right, and you can see here, it's doing the logger info stuff that we are seeing in the logger. So we'll do that. It probably won't have written out yet, but if we look at one of our previous logs, see more logs, so this is the point where it's like dumping these sorts of things to the log. So far all, so then it's like it writes the file to our local file system. After that, so then now this is in like the grader itself. It continues, it'll handle the submission. So that it then tries to handle the submission. Now, what should happen next is it should try and send the thing back through the put result operation. But on Monday I was getting it as kind of like, I had it stopping in here and seeing it there, but it just doesn't seem to be connecting. So that's all rather long-winded way of showing you the nature of the problem there. I guess, we could step into like handling the submission. I mean, we could. It's so annoying. How do I scroll up in Tmux? I don't know if it's that we've got one submission that is like control. Oh, here we go. Control B, and then is that no? Arrow position. Can I? Oh, right now. Okay. Because the one thing that we could look at here is that, like, there's the actual. This link here corresponds to. We could go and grab that. Maybe there's like a single assignment that has somehow got something that causes our graders to do something weird, or what it does. I've just pulled out that file locally for us, and I'm trying to. It's like. I don't know if we've got some kind of student submission that has somehow managed to like block the grader from working, period. Do you know what I mean? Anyhow, there's probably far more information than you ever wanted about how the grader works.
That's pretty cool. It was cool
to see the different things going on. I can see. Go on.
For example, if we want to help you how can we do that?
Well, it's very difficult. So in principle, sort of investigating this requires access to
knowledge,
the appropriate class. Which I'm just setting that up for Armando, which you could certainly have if you want. It doesn't have to be done on the production grader. It could just as easily be done on the staging grader. In some ways, like to replicate the setup, we could be, getting our own edX queue, and it could all run locally on one's own machine. One could have the entire grader and the edX queue and so on. But there's a fair chunk of stuff to be set up in order to like get that working. I guess having looked at it again, seeing that it's not the only hypothesis that I've got. Other than edX made some change to their queue, which now needs to do different things, is that somehow this particular assignment that one student submitted is kind of like balking our grader. But yeah, further investigation needed, basically.
Yep. Okay.
Nico or Sam, the other way to help, I think. If you book a calendar with Sam, and that's what you're supposed to discuss.
yeah. That would be a session that we could do, and I'd help someone get set up with the. I feel like the whole grader architecture is somewhat convoluted. Anyway, so that was probably, I'd say, more than you wanted to know. I guess to go back to an earlier point, Nico, you were asking about the staging instance. Yeah, I mean, it seems like it's working. I mean, we could just go to production. I guess there's sort of like for website 1. I mean, I guess anything goes up. We can check it. Like the thing to do that I might do if I have time in a minute, depending what happens at the marketing meeting, is just get the staging and the these two things side by side, like maybe it's on a slightly bigger screen. I've got a bigger screen of it, and then like you say, like the about page works. I mean, I noticed that you added I forgot what it's called now. On the getting started, you put the raw HTML in to sort it out. Yeah. I mean, I noticed what's happening at the moment is that it feels like we're getting like, have I got these on the same size? What's that? That's 100%. That's 80. It's 100% there.
Where did you get the Tansako rocks? Tansako.
Well, that's
that is
Nico has been inserting lies into the. So this is now the new. So on this side on staging, all of this text is being pulled in from the Agile Ventures GitHub repo, which can be edited or pull requests be submitted to. The one thing that I notice is just that the size of the I think the line spacing is slightly different.
Okay.
But that's a style sheet thing that we can change separately. Certainly, all the information is there. I mean, the whole thing, is all ready to be changed. I mean, there are things like that is not a URL. But I think that's not a reason not to roll it out, because this is like, we can make that markdown.
Yeah.
We can make those changes subsequent. We can go through. So I don't know that there's any reason to. What was it? I mean, I guess the key ones is to like click through on the premium ones and sort of make sure that the links are all there and appropriately.
And now you are using the pipeline instead of deploying by using the console.
Well, it's interesting. I worked out. I think we still need to use the console, but in the situation where we want to check something quickly and roll it back, the pipeline could be a good way to go. So I could sort of show you that. I mean, I guess sensibly, I do a check of just have a look through and see if there's any sort of key bloopers, and then we roll it out. Because I think we need to sort of coordinate that. But yeah, I mean, we could even look at that in the marketing meeting. Are you free to join the marketing meeting, Nico?
Yeah. Well, I think that 20 minutes. Because I have an interview.
Yeah. Oh, I need a few minutes. Well, let's because I don't think there'll be any other business in the marketing meeting. So maybe if you're free in 20 minutes, we could do it then.
Okay, so thank you, Sam. That was very informative. I actually learned a lot by listening in. So unfortunately, for most of these meetings that happen in at around 2 o'clock, I think it's 2 o'clock your time, we have our mob sessions then. So that's why I'm personally not able to join those meetings and mobs. Yeah.
No worries. I'll just mention I'm going to be out tomorrow. So if you're able to start the Scrum tomorrow, that's great. Sigurd, but if not, no problem.
All right. Lauren, I'll let you know. Me or Nico, we can do that. Okay.
Good stuff.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Great to see you.
Nice
Bye.
to see you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right.